There were two key figures on the administration side in the Northern Union. Harry Waller from Yorkshire, who was the chairman of Brighouse Rangers, who became the first chairman of the Northern Union, and Joe Platt in Lancashire, who became the first secretary of the Northern Union. It's quite probable it was Joe Platt that actually booked the George Hotel on the 29th of August that led to the meeting. And then, in many ways, after the split, Joe Platt became even more important to the game. He was the man who steered the Northern Union, as rugby league was then called, through a whole number of challenges and changes, such as the changing the rules to 13-a-side and the play the ball in 1906. He was the man who managed the beginning of international rugby league, both domestically in 1904 when the first international was played, but also the expansion to Australia and New Zealand when New Zealand came over for the first time in 1907, followed by the Kangaroos. And he was also the man who steered the Northern Union through the First World War, which was a very difficult time, obviously. And he did all this on a part-time basis. And everything really went through, literally, Joe Platt's house. And it wasn't until he retired in 1920 that the first full-time secretary of the Northern Union Rugby League was appointed. So Joe Platt, for someone who didn't play the game at any great level, is an absolute titan of rugby league. And it's, without him, the game might not have survived in the way it did through some quite stressful periods in the late 1890s and early 1900s. So in one sense, Joe Platt is probably one of Oldham's biggest, if not the biggest, contribution to the history of rugby league.